Hello, ATH Alice. Welcome to our weekly show. My name is Abby. I'm your Healthy Living and P. Today, as you can see, let me just go in here, get to my banner. We're going to be discussing the importance of colon cancer screening. It's just going to be a nice little conversation between me and my special guest. This is Mr. J. Randy DARPOH. He's going to introduce himself in a few minutes there. So please like and share, invite your friends, call all your friends. This is very important. We'll talk about colon cancer awareness and colon cancer screening and all that too. So as always, my disclaimer, I am a provider, but I'm not your provider. So please do not make any changes to your regimen without checking with your own provider. So I'm going to give Mr. Randy Dapo about 30 seconds to introduce himself, and we'll get right into the show.
Yes, Abby, thank you so much for welcoming me to one of the best platform here. My name is Jay Randy, as you said, and many people know me to be on Facebook as a political analyst, but I am a Liberian, a typical president, but I also a Liberian who believe in investing in your health. So over the few, in the past, I think like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I met with Abby and I like, hey, Abby, I'd like to come on your show and, to discuss a few things in regards to personal health and investment. And she accepted my request. So again, thank you, Abby, so much for the opportunity. I'm not a stranger, but for those who see me for the first time, my name is Jay Randy, and I am a social media influencer. And I'm glad to be here to discuss other matter outside of politics. Thank you so much, Abby.
Okay, thank you so much. And one of the main reasons I took his invitation to and also invite him on because we did a show in June. We did men's health in June, and we talked about the fact that it's so difficult to get men to go to the doctors. And then when they do go to the doctors, if they have to do with any kind of diagnostic testing, it can be so much more difficult to get them to go there and follow up and all that too. So, and today we're going to be talking about colon cancer. Colon cancer, it affects everybody, every race across the board. So it's not something that just happens to this person or this gender or this nationality. So few stats before we get into it. So Randy's just going to give us a little personal story about one of the screenings of colon cancer. Okay. So colon cancer is caused by little growths in the intestines. Okay. So let me just go in there. Okay. So basically, so when you, let me go into, so, okay. So colon cancer is third cancer-related death and combined. Estimated 52,000, over 52,000 people would die every year from colon cancer. Okay, it's also called colorectal cancer too. Okay, worldwide is the second leading cause of cancer death among people. Some of the risk factors of colon cancer, anybody is at risk, by the way. So, but it usually occurs around anywhere between 40 to 50 years old. This is all from the CDC. All right, Centers for Disease Control, right? So they're telling you to start getting screened around like age 40 to 45. If you have a family history of colon cancer, also if you have some genetic markers too, diet, if you eat diet high in red meat, heavy alcohol consumption, again, like I said, if you already have diagnosis of colorectal polyps, ulcerative colitis, and all, and Crohn's disease, okay. In some people, some of the symptoms you want to look for. But the most important person when you think about that had colon cancer before, that's why he also made it, is to let everybody know. If you see this person, I'm going to put his picture on the screen, okay? That was the Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman. All right, he died. I think he was about 44 when he died. That was so young, and he was so influential to so many people. His death, I mean, it still hurts me to this day. Okay, so some of the symptoms you want to be looking for now when you have these symptoms, doesn't mean that you have colon cancer. It could mean any other thing too. Okay, but we also always want to rule out the most serious one first. Okay, so continuous abdominal pain, so not pain where you just have it here and there and it goes away. Something that comes and goes, but then it persisting over like a 2 week, 3 week period. You want to go see a family doctor, and then they do some testing. They may send you to see a gastroenterologist who will be doing your screening more. Okay. Early satiety, meaning when you're eating, you usually eat and you get full, but when you're eating a little bit, you get full too quickly. Those are the kind of things they'd be like, something's going on there. Why am I eating? I'm not eating that much. And then people watching you and they're saying, you're not eating that much anymore. And you're saying, well, you know what? Because I'm already full. So some of the things, unexplained weight loss, like you're not exercising, you're not doing anything, you're not weight over a period of time. At first, people are not going to notice. They're going to say, oh, you're losing weight, you're looking good and all that too, whatever your culture decides is looking good or decides losing weight. So, but when you start noticing that you're losing more weight, your clothes fitting a little more loosely, and you're not doing anything, again, unintended weight loss. So you're not doing anything to lose the weight. Those are some of the things you want to start looking over a 3 to 4 years already. diarrhea, you're having stools over, and you go like 4 or 5, 6 times a day, and it's going on. You'd be like, I'm not eating anything that's going to be causing that. Constipation also, because if there's anything going on in your colon is the, I'm going to show you a picture of that. Okay. Does that mean something's blocking it for it to go in through? And at the same time with diarrhea too, there's something's blocking, and whatever's coming out is just really loose. Okay. Bleeding in your stool. When you look in your stool, you look in the toilet and all that, when you're wiping yourself, all right, it looks like, okay, why am I seeing blood on the toilet paper? Why am I seeing blood in the toilet bowl? All right. And also, if your stool is really dark. Now, if it's really dark, some people are on medication like iron that can cause that to be really bloody as well too. So it can be really black and really hard too. So keep an eye on that. All right. And just the fact that all those things combined, it can be all of those factors. It can be one or two here and there, and sometimes, like, you're just tired. You really, all you is like, wait a second, I'm just tired all the time. Something must be going on. Usually I'm tired when I come from work or I come for exercising, but I'm just normally abnormally tired, and I just really want to know what's going on there. Okay, so let me put this on the screen. This is your colon. When you eat, the food comes and everything, and it goes in there. So let me close this up here. So some of the ways of doing the screening: when you go to your doctor, let's say you have all those symptoms and you go to your doctor and they say, okay, we're suspecting something, we'll do some blood work. And based on the blood work too, and based on your symptoms, your doctor will send you to go see the gastroenterologist, all right? And then they can say, okay, we'll do some screening. They're the ones where you see on TV. I think I did a show on that where they send a box to you and they tell you all the directions and all. Those for people who are like low risk, meaning like you don't have no family history, you're not having any symptoms right now, and your doctor knows your whole history and all that, so they can say, go ahead and do that. And if it comes back positive, then you have to do the colonoscopy anyways. If it come back negative, then they want you to wait for, like, you're good for 3 years. Okay, as long as you're not having any more symptoms. But most gastroenterologists now, plus they have made it to where it's like a little bit more definitive. But most gastroenterologists will tell you, no, we want you to have the colonoscopy. So that's where we come to when it comes to Randy now. And for most men, it's very hard to do that. So Randy, this is where you come in, and you're going to tell us, as a man, tell us some of the myths that you heard, why will be keeping men from doing the testing, and also, and what made you go ahead and do it and all that. But before you start that, the colonoscopy, again, is like when they take the camera and then look up right there. So this is a picture of it. The camera is hooked up to that. So you see that little red growth over here. When you had, it's called polyps. That's the, if there's there, they take that out, and then they also do the biopsy. Whatever do the colonoscopy, they still have to do a biopsy, and then they'll call you and say, okay, everything's fine. You can come back in 2 to 3 years if they're more concerned to see something, or 5 years or 10 years. So Randy, you can go ahead and tell us, the myth behind it, and why did you decide to do that, and how you can encourage other men to go ahead and get this testing done.
Yeah, and thank you so much, Abby. I felt that as long we have the opportunities to be on social media where we have people listening to us, providing other information, but we have to add value to other people, sense of direction. The myth over the years, even though growing up in Liberia, people had the belief that, oh, I don't like to talk about something before it comes my way. But as we travel around the world, we see how technology has improved in every sector of our lives. There is always the consequences that come with stuff like that. And as we age as well too, there is a possibility, and not to mention family history. Uh, Personally, for me, I do not have any family history of colon or prostate cancer, but living in the United States as an environmentalist, my role also is associated with activities that we see industrially that could lead to different type of cancer. And I developed interest in it. So oftentimes when I was in my 30s, my doctor is from Kenya. I often used to go to her in my 30s. I like, I want to do my colon cancer. She's like, no, not yet, not yet, not yet. You're still young, not yet. And she had been with me now for almost 15 years. So when I enter my 40s, she like, it's time for you to do it now. And then I start putting it off. I start putting it off. And then when I got into my mid 40s, I went back to her. She said, have you done it yet? I said, no. She said, okay, this time I'm going to write the script for you to go and do it. But as you mentioned, Abby, there are a lot of people we have lost to cancer, whether little age, middle age, or big age, as I would describe it. I feel that in order for me to persuade other people, even on my show, oftentimes I would take 2, 3 minutes to at least inform my audience. I know they are of different ages, but I know the target of people that I'm talking to, especially 40 and above. Encourage them to invest in their health. Exercising alone will not cut it for you. There are different parts of our body that exercise addresses, and there are other parts that we need to be very concerned about. And that's why we have our primary doctor. And so I decided to at least add one or two things to my conversation by encouraging people. So until finally last year, because every year I don't have to be sick to see my doctor. Every year I go for what we call a well check visit, where they do all my I think it's PSR, something like PSN. I don't know all the terminology, but you can help me with that if you don't mind. But she got a whole list. I got everything here, but my web, like, you have to hold up to some of the regulations because your
Yeah.
HIPAA, yeah. But the doctor wrote all the script, Ivy, and oftentimes when I used to go through that process, I say, is it possible to check for any symptom of cancer? She said, yes, anything you want, Randy. So she would do the blood work, she would do all the thing and the path map, all the stuff. And then I would do the exam, but at the end, she would give me a different script to go and do the prostate. And I did the prostate, it was okay. But then she was insisting that I do the colonoscopy. Go ahead and do it, Randy. So I kind of hold up. And then one day my wife saw the script. She's like, oh, so you've been hiding this for a long time. Because oftentimes when I go to the doctor, she goes with me. And she sit right there and she's like, do what you need to do, Randy. Do what you need to do. And I was like, okay. So she wrote the script. And then I went to the doctor. Unfortunately, again, I did not go. I told my wife I was going. I never went.
Which
She
is
said,
totally normal. Which is totally normal.
yeah,
Totally normal.
yeah. So this year visit we went, because usually it's every January. So we went this year. She was like, did you do your colonoscopy test? I like, no. She said, Randy. And then she opened my file. She said, look how many times I asked you to go. So my wife said, this time around, he and I are going. So yeah. So she sat in the car. We went and we did the pre-screening. And I think I decided, she said, do it the old-fashioned way, because there are pills they can give you, or they can give you some liquid to dilute your stool.
Yeah,
She said, do it the old way.
So you got the liquid, you got the
I got to look at, but they kind of dilute the liquid with I think it was
powder stuff, and they put it like some of the flavor. Yeah, some of the flavor.
Yeah. So I think we're in like 1 liter gallon. They said the night before the day, let's say if tomorrow is the day, around I think 7 or 8 o'clock, they start drinking. Excuse me, that. And then I drank, and then at a certain time they said you have to stop, and before you go to leave your house to go to the center, you have to take the last liquid. And then the doctor kept texting me. The office started texting me, make sure you do this, make sure you did it. My wife said, I got it. So one night, I said I was completely drained. Every stool in my body came outside.
Yes.
When I went to use the men's room, it was nothing but just liquid. And my wife said, that's it right there.
That's it.
Yeah, she said, that's it right there. And then when I got to the center again, before we left that morning, I drank again. And then the remaining part, because they give it to you in series that you need to take
after. Yes.
Yeah. So when I got there, I had already taken that. So I said, I want to use the men's room to say, go over there. And then when I got there, I saw people of all different ages, all different nationality, Kenyan, Ghanaian. And I'm like, well, wow, what people are so afraid of this thing. And so
it's a good thing that you saw those many different nationalities. That's a good
different nationality, different nationality. And the good thing about it, their wives, women play a very significant role in pursuing us as men. Almost 2/3 of the people that were sitting there, their wives were sitting next to them. And I think it was like building that confidence to say, hey, you can make it, you can do it. So my wife came in, she was like, and we sat down there, and then the lady came and the lady tried to prep me, and then we went in there. I went and you know how to draw it. I took out all my stuff, and then they kind of spoke me here with the IV. Yeah. And then I went to bed. When I went to bed, I didn't even know what was happening around me. It lasted between, I think, 25 to 30 minutes. And then after that, you have to sleep off and wake up.
Yes.
Yes, when
So
I
you
got
get they put the IV in you to give you
yeah,
light anesthesia where you're not completely out, but you're out enough to where
yeah,
you know what's going
yeah.
on.
And the funny thing about it, I started saying to them, I'm strong, I will not sleep. I told them, I said, okay. I said, I'm too strong, I can't sleep, I can't sleep, I can't sleep. I'm an African, I can't sleep. I said, okay. But that's all I could hear. I can sleep, I can sleep. And that's it. I know I was deep down into sleep. I was deep down. So the process went on, and then at the end of the process, I regained my consciousness, and I just saw the nurse right over me there was the heart monitor. I mean, they play very advanced IV, so they got the heart monitoring thing there. And I'm like, but what's going on here? And then the doctor said he awake. And the thing, the timing IV is so unique. I mean, the medical field IV is so unique. And I thought the engineering field was more advanced, but what I saw, they tell me when they were going to wake me up. I mean, when I was going to wake up by myself, the dose they gave me, how long it was going to take. So I went through the process, and eventually, when I woke up, the doctor came, and then they started to take all the stuff. That stuff hurt. I mean, you guys need to find it. Yeah, they said they got a blood flower,
That's
but
what dude.
it's very difficult. And wanting to find my vein too. Oh, I
Yes.
mean, when you ready to poke me, I always tell you, make sure you get it right. Because if you miss it,
The vice versa.
I'm gonna put you on the wrong side of my list.
So
That's what
people,
yeah, on
so
the
people
wrong.
are harsh thinking for people like me who have always had time putting in IVs and all that too. So, but
Oh no, I mean then I will put you on the wrong side of my list because I have a list of nurses, whether it's at the lab where they're gonna draw blood, or at the hospital, or at the urgent care. If you miss that, I got my list in my house. I said,
trust me, every nurse like they're they're like really good at certain things and
yeah,
not really good at certain things. Then that doesn't mean that that nurse is bad. It's just that some other
exactly,
nurse would be like, "Can you come here and do this?" and "Can you come here and do that one?" and all that.
exactly.
We all
It
work
happened to
together.
me. So they struggled a little bit, but they eventually did. And I mean, I was committed to that and stuff like that. So after the process, the doctor came and on the mobile laptop computer, he showed me everything, and he like, geez, everything of yours is clear.
So they didn't find
You
any
didn't find nothing.
the growth
Yeah,
I'm talking about is called polyps, so they didn't find anything.
yeah. He didn't say I didn't find anything, and. And then I said, but Doc, I like the thing because the fact that I don't know what's going on, I'm sleeping, can I come next year? He said, no, 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 no.
You
You
know.
come for 10 years. I said, oh, 10 years. I said, no, no, no. I'll be coming. And my wife said, don't mind him. He like to talk too much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
come every 10 years. And but
yeah,
at the same time, if you do have any symptoms, then of
correct.
course we want you to, make sure you let them know so they may have to do it earlier than the 10 years and all.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why he said, when you start to feel anything
Mhm.
uncomfortable, please let me know. And the good thing about it too, Ivy, our place of work too, we are encouraged by our employers, and 'cause it is called medical benefit. They will
Mhm.
come and do the same testing like the one you explained. They bring the badge, you use that, and then they take it. If things getting better off for you, they will cut your insurance premium down from your
Yes,
salary
yes.
and stuff.
Some
So
employers have the incentive to do that. Yeah.
exactly. So I've been very proactive. So I went to our nurse at work. I said, oh, I just did my testing. She said, oh, that's cool. Just bring the result. That will help because I think this week or next week, the medical team is coming because they come every year to do the test and, to do things. So I just want to encourage everyone listening to me here now and later that there's nothing suspicious about these activities. I just think the lack of information when we were growing up in Liberia, we didn't have the opportunity to engage ourselves and other stuff like this. For the prostate, I know we said another time to come and talk about the prostate too, Ivy. I'll talk about that on another section, unless you want me to go through that. But I think
No, go to the colon cancer. So why did you keep putting off your test? By the
well,
way,
I'll put another test number one. I like, oh, I'm an African, nothing happened to me. That same made from back home. And why should I go do something? Maybe when I do something else will trigger another thing again. So that was one of the key reasons why I kept putting it off. And and because many of us used to say, even when I speak to family members back home, they're like, oh, we don't have those things there. Don't go to the thing that the people put machine in you.
yeah, you
And
don't run
yeah,
anything.
and stuff like that. So I was like, I just have to do what I have to do. And most especially the position I found myself like you, where we sit on Facebook and provide information to people. Sometimes you don't know the influence you may have. And I'm sure that people listen to us right now we start to give those things a second thought, and to say, what, once you take that leap of faith and take that first step to go through that process, think about people who missed that opportunity and today they are no longer around us. If they had the opportunity of knowledge that we are discussing here to encourage other people, I'm sure they will be able to do these things.
Yes,
And
and early detection is key, and also again goes back to if you have family members that have it, and usually if you had a family member that had colon cancer, we're
yeah,
gonna ask you when were they diagnosed, and then
yeah,
we told the family member, say your biological family member, and I won't be your wife, it'll be your brother or
yeah,
sister, and saying
yeah,
start getting tested at least 10 years before when they were diagnosed, because
yeah.
that way we'll start catching whatever they're long before. And even with the actor Will Smith, the one who acted what one of his movies?
Bad boys one, bad boy two.
Yes, okay. He was in there. He said when he did the colonoscopy, he wanted to prove to
Yeah,
black men, also to everybody. It's like, okay, this is not, you can just go ahead and do it and get it done and all. And when he had it done and his doctor called him, because usually they will tell you they didn't find anything. And then
yeah,
48 hours, they will tell you the biopsy results will come back. And that's when it's more definitive to tell you that.
correct.
So he got that done just to show to everybody that, he got it done. And when we were reading his results with him, the GI doctor told him and said, "Oh, by the way," she said, "if you hadn't come in 5 to 10 years from now, you would have had colon cancer
Yeah,
because of polyps that we had to move that." So just imagine, he was just
yeah,
doing that just to show it to everybody. Even with breast cancer too, there was this person on Good Morning America.
yeah,
She just did she did the mammogram and all that to prove to show to everybody, yes, you can do the mammogram, and that's when it
mhm,
discovered her stuff too, because so you never know. And when you talk
yeah,
about it, when we talk about it, people who are on, and I mean, you're like one of the people who everybody know you all around. J Randy, J Randy, J Randy. So
yeah.
your voice, but lending your voice to something this important is
All
very
right.
important for our community and also community at large. All right.
Absolutely,
So let me
absolutely.
just let me just look over this, and I can go over some preventions, and also we'll go over
Okay.
some comments here. Henry Yango said, "Good morning from my NJRD and others." I guess, and that's all your friends there.
Yeah,
Alrighty, and other people, Jackie's watching there. I think they was just doing that, and
yeah.
other people. And then this person, Marianne Pelly, he said, "I did my colonoscopy on the 29th of July, and very important. Thank you, thank you, thank
Thank
you."
you, thank you, thank you, thank
Also,
you.
share the show, and all that too, because it's very important.
Yeah,
I know how when people, by the time somebody says something, oh, yeah, some people also think like cancer is like contagious, and you'd say that, and I don't want to be, and
yeah.
it's like, no, no, don't say it that way, because you want to
And,
get it as early as
and
possible.
another thing too, Abby, that I was very interested into is not just for men. I know men are the dominant focus point, but I think female as well too can go through that process too, right?
Oh yes, definitely. Colon, like I said, it affects everybody, women, men, and all that affects us. But it's just that because most of the time, women will more likely go to get the colonoscopy first than men. So
Yeah,
that's that, so it's like, but everybody, but even they'll tell you the prep. Oh my God, I don't want to go through the prep. You got to drink all this stuff, and
yeah,
you got to empty out, and you got to keep drinking, and it just that's just like and before you know it, you get the test done, and it's done. It's
yeah.
done. You go for
It's
five
done.
years, you go for 2 years, you go for three. It's done. That's the part you're just gonna just psych yourself up and know that this is what you have to do.
And the good thing about it too is we have people in the great land of opportunity that actually guide you through the process.
Yes,
You
yes,
know, it's
yes,
like when that time come in our age range, they start telling you because at the age 39 up to 25 years old, when I started seeing my doctor, that was never mentioned. But every year as you go, they keep track of your age, and based on your age, they tell you the type of testing that you're supposed to be doing. So
yes,
when I got
everything.
my 40s, that
Yep,
when they started coming in, oh, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. I was like, oh, and then she showed me the whole print. She said, you see from here to here and
yep.
stuff like that.
And
And one
that's why your guy, to get more people to watch Abby Tyler's Healthy Living, because at the beginning of the year, every time I do shows and I say go for your physical, and then
yeah,
also age specific testing, and
correct.
also gender specific testing too. So
Yeah,
people will be like, okay, well, how come now you don't have to do this yet? You don't have to do that yet. But there's always like outliers of you to say, okay, well, I was only young, I was really young, and I got all these diseases. There will
yeah,
always be people who fall outside of the norm. and all
Yeah.
that. So if you're having those symptoms, that doesn't mean you shouldn't say, oh, well, I'm too young to have this, or I've already passed this age now, I can't have this and all. It's important that you do go talk to your doctor about it too. So it's because people can still get colon cancer at a
Yeah.
very young age, or it
Yeah.
could be something else. So just if you're having those symptoms, make sure you go ahead and check with your doctors. So let me see
Correct.
any more questions here before we
Yeah.
Hey, Jackie Jackson. Hi, Jackie. Great topic, especially for men who don't like to seek medical care. Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
let me see another question here. Dennis said, what is the difference between colon cancer screening and prostate cancer screening? Well, colon cancer screening, like I said, there's so many other there are different ways of doing it. Most definitive ways like colonoscopy. Most
Mhm.
GI doctors will tell you the colonoscopy where they put the camera, the tube, the colonoscope. They have
Yeah.
a camera at the end of it, and they go into your rectum and all you under anesthesia, and they're looking there to make sure, and they're looking at the screen and looking there for the growth that's in there.
That's the one I did, Avi. So you can
Yeah,
represent that.
yeah, the colonoscopy. The prostate cancer will start doing the blood work and all that too. And based on the blood work, and just
Mhm.
remember also that as you get older, the numbers are going to be a little elevated. So because people use to like they used to panic and say, "Oh my God, let's go get this and all that too." But
Yeah.
family history, you also want to make sure for family history, and you're having some pee in your blood, you're having some problems, with having sexual relations and all.
Yeah.
And when you go into go pee, you find yourself peeing a lot more often, peeing at
Mhm.
night, and when you do pee, the pee is supposed to come down nice. And like when you open up a faucet, it's supposed to
Mhm.
just pour out like that, but it's
Yeah.
not pouring out. It's like coming drip, drip, drip. Just
Yeah.
remember that drip, drip, drip. You'd be like, what, wait a second. And you feel like something is holding you back. That's when your doctor is going to, they want to do some ultrasound. They'll do ultrasound where they put the gel on your belly and your pelvic area and
Mhm.
look there to make sure. And then they might say, okay, you go to a urologist. If they see anything, go to a urologist and they do more testing. So it's like two different things. But at the
Correct.
same time, when you have colon cancer, prostate cancer, it can also spread to other places when it's too
Mhm.
late. And if
Yeah.
you have colon cancer, it can spread to those other places too. So those are the kind of diseases. That's why early detection is key, so it doesn't spread to other vital organs as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
And thank you for that, Abby. And also too, there were different resources to give me as well too, and that I can do my own research, follow up with stuff like that, and how to guide myself and how to protect myself. And I know that many people believe that, oh, because they don't have a family history, they can't catch it. That's not true, because people who have had it, and and people who might catch it later on, I don't pray for that, but just for the sake of the conversation, it is very, very important that you seek your doctor and reach out to your primary. And so, Abby, let me ask this question here. Um, is it necessary that you be in your early 40s to tell your doctor, or your doctor have to tell you? I
The,
mean,
the doctor will usually tell you when you start getting, because your family doctor will start telling you, okay, you're at this age now. These are the tests that we recommend at this age, and then
mhm,
start so we'll give you a prescription, and you can go ahead and get the GI doctor. So we'll tell you at this certain age we start doing mammogram. At this certain age we start looking for prostate, because there are
mhm,
certain diseases that come with age, and also
mhm,
the risk factors. Like I said, the risk factors too. If your family history, you're at a higher risk. Okay, everybody's
mhm,
at risk, but risk when you're at a higher risk, meaning you have family history of it, you had other disease, other cancer before that may have led to that. You
yeah,
have radiation from other cancer if you had other things in the past, and also your doctor will always, when you go to the doctor's office, every time they will update all your medical history and all that too, and your family history. That's why it's important. People need to talk to their family about it. Now, I totally understand. You're totally, entitled to your privacy. If you don't want to talk to your family about it, nobody want to
mhm,
talk. I don't want to
yeah,
talk to this person and telling them this and all. But if it's something that's hereditary and it could save your brother or sister or your
mhm,
child, it's
yeah,
very important that you tell them that. Say, I just want to let you know that this is what's happening to me. Especially, you don't want to come there and say, "Oh my God, this person died from cancer. This person died from this or this," and you'd be like, "Well, second, what do you mean? What do you mean? I saw them, and then we don't see each other maybe what 6 months, a year, unless if you live
yeah,
in a place."
exactly,
So
yeah,
it's important that what the person died that early, or what did it die from? Did it die suddenly? Was there a heart attack? Was it a stroke? Was it this? That's why it's important. So when you go to the doctors, we get your medical history and we get your family history too. Then we start saying, your brother had this when he was young and all. So it's
mhm,
important that I want you to get tested sooner. Your
yeah,
mother had this when she was young, or she died this early. You know, and like if you came to me and said, "Oh, I've been having this headache and it's not going away. I took some medicine, and my brother is like 40 years old and he just died of a massive stroke." ding, 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 ding. That puts you like the top of the list right
Correct.
away. My ears here. Okay, then you definitely need to go see a neurologist. You
Yeah.
definitely need to get all these testing done and all that too, because now you're at a higher risk, and we
Yeah.
have to watch you a little closer than somebody who is of average risk. Okay.
Yep.
So, yeah.
And just to add to that too, I remember when I first met the doctor, because the first doctor I had, he had retired, and then my doctor was just coming right in his place. And then when I set up my appointment to meet with her, she read through my history, because initially, like, they're going to tell you to write down any family history, diseases, and other stuff like that. So I kind of provided that to the doctor who I initially met, and then when she took over the case, it was a wide gap in terms of how long I've been with the doctor, and she was taking over the case. So she felt that maybe there was something different. She like, do you have any other concern, any new development since the history have been here? You want to add that to the list of things? And I like, no, I don't remember anything. She said, okay, as long as it's like this, but as you age, we'll be
Yeah.
looking at other testing that you have to be doing and stuff like that. And
Yes.
and I really want to appreciate you guys in the medical community, because I mean, Telenet, I mean, they find different ways to help us out here. And again, I just want to appeal to many Liberians out there, and don't allow your ego to supersede your investment in your health.
Mhm.
All right. We all want to see 2029 election, but what are we doing for ourselves, and to get to that path?
Yeah.
Because the last thing we want to do is to say, oh, our man is not well, or what happened. We have all the resources here. Abby is here. Like what I did, I reached out to Abby. I said, hey, Abby, I just went through some great life, I mean, achievement, where I went and saw the doctor and did the test. Can I come on your show at least to encourage my follower, enlighten your viewers as to what needs to be done? Because leaders should always take that leap of faith to be the one to start things, and other people will follow. So, my fellow Liberian, there's nothing wrong with going to do the test. Like I said, I mean, when I got in there were so many nationality, and but I was more excited and more excited when I saw African in there. And we look at each other and we just nod our head, and okay, well, this is the right thing to do.
Yes.
And
Because yeah,
yeah,
because we link everything to the witchcraft. Let me see.
exactly.
Then it say, why is screening linked to age? Can a younger person also have cancer? Yes, it well some because some diseases come as you age. That's the
Yeah,
reason why. That's why it's like age specific diseases, and also gender specific diseases and all that too. So because some happen as you age and all that too. But
yeah,
at the same time, like I said, there's some people who fall outside of that realm. So it's always when you're having those symptoms that I discussed before. For those of you who are just joining right now, you're watching Abby Tyler's Healthy Living with my special guest, J. Randy DARPOH. We're talking about how, you had a colonoscopy for colon cancer screening. Everything turned out okay, but it's important to get men to go there. So going back to Dennis's question, yes, they're linked to age and all that. It's linked to with mammogram and all, because all those other cancers and things like that, they come with age. And if you do the screening a little bit too early, then you say, oh, I'm good. And then you never go back again. Something could be brewing. So yeah, that with age and all. But of course, speak to your doctor, know your risk factors, know your family history, some of the prevention. They tell you to eat healthy, stay away from processed meat, try
mhm,
not to smoke and drink and all
yeah,
that too, because smoking is bad regardless of whatever cancer and all. Important to follow up. The doctor said we didn't find anything this time around, and you can come back in 10 years. Make sure you look at the symptoms also, but at the
correct.
same time, please follow up. If they say we want to see you back in 2 years or 3 years, you'd be like, oh my God, I have to go ahead and drink this all over again. I
Yeah,
can't believe this and all. But yes, that little 24 hour of discomfort, trust me, that's your whole life you're looking at there. Because
yeah,
as you start getting to age 30 to your 40s and 50, your kids are growing up. You're going to
yeah,
be hanging out with your wife or your husband or your family, and you're going to be taking care of an elderly relative and all that. So you still got plenty of living to do. I know
correct.
thing in our culture, when you get to, especially for a woman, if you're 30, then you're already old. You just need to go sit somewhere and vegetate somewhere. For men, they can be young forever. So let's just put it out there. So it's important. You still got plenty of living to do and plenty of life to live and all that. So it's a quality of life. So it's important that you do that. All
Yeah,
right. I don't
yeah.
see any other questions here. So we'll try to wrap it up a little bit. So I don't
Yeah,
want to keep.
so before you wrap it, let me say a few things that become really
Oh yeah.
enjoying the conversation. Yeah, I am enjoying the conversation here. So So another thing too, I would like to add to the conversation too is preventive health care. And I think from what I learned over the years in this country, Abby, is preventive health care. Oftentimes back home, I remember growing up, our fathers, our bigger brother, our uncle, they never went to the hospital or see their prime. There was no such thing as primary care at all.
Yeah.
Every time people got sick, it was going to the hospital. But now I know things have changed in the country now, and thank God for the little improvement we have. So I would just want to encourage every Liberian, especially in the age group that you have described, to seek that that preventive
Yes.
measure.
Yes.
See your doctor, not when you get sick, but every year, go and see the doctor. Like Abby, the 10 years that you mentioned, if everything comes out clean from the colonoscopy, every year what I do to my doctor, I like do every test the blood for any sign of cancer to let me know. And then as far as the food goes to, I stay away from certain meat. But now, again, let me just ask the question, Abby. Let's say staying away from processed meat. Does that mean that for the entire year, someone who is concerned about colon cancer should stay away from eating processed, red meat for the whole year? Let's say from
No, no,
January to
no, 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 not necessarily. It's like in moderation. Everything in moderation. Like I tell people, like I always tell people, eat most of your food. Our food. We put everything in there. We put every animal in the zoo. We put it in there. So
yeah,
it's like eat more food from the sea and less
correct.
from the land.
Yeah,
So try to eat more seafood and all this different thing, fruits and vegetables. Just moderate. Nobody wants you to eat like a bland diet, and people
yeah,
saying, oh my goodness, and because now just the cancer part, you remember now you're also trying to ward off other diseases too, especially things
correct.
like high cholesterol and
Yeah,
hypertension, which is called high blood pressure. And we
yeah,
talk about kidney diseases that are really prevalent in the Black African American communities and all that too, and other communities as well. But just that because we don't always go get checked and all, so it's
yeah,
like also warding off those diseases too. So it's not just the cancer. So while you're
yeah,
trying to help yourself from the cancer, you also doing things to help yourself on things that are really gonna stop you too. High blood
correct.
pressure, well, really high blood pressure is not controlled. You have a high risk of having a heart attack or a stroke. Okay,
Yeah,
your kidneys too when you're eating certain things or not eating right, and all that also affects your kidneys. Your kidneys don't hurt. You don't know that you had like really bad kidney disease, especially if you're not going to your doctor every year and getting your blood
yeah,
work. You don't know that you have kidney disease until like sometimes almost about 50 to 75% of the kidneys already been damaged,
hmm,
and that's when and you would not even know that until you start having symptoms like shortness of breath, low
yeah,
dizziness, and all that too. So it's important that you do see your primary care physician, primary care provider, and go and get your blood work done every year. Get your blood work done every year, and then also any specific testing that you need to add to that as well. So you see
and-
your for women, you seeing your primary care doctor, and you also having your mammogram, and you seeing your GYN, your gynecologist, to
yeah,
get your testing done in men, and also so that's important. You seeing your making sure that you do those things every year. Now sometimes you say, you know what, it was fine last year, I don't want to do it, and that's natural. That's natural for human beings not to want to be seen every year, but
yeah.
it's important, especially as you start getting older too, and you start seeing family history and all. It's important that you do that.
And just to add this to the conversation, I know your time is being stretched, but I think the conversation is very interesting. So there are some people, I'm just playing devil advocate here now, because that devil advocate, I have been the devil anti-advocate. And here's why. Some people say, oh, I don't have a primary. I can't go to the hospital. What I often do, and let's say if I'm out of insurance, if I'm sick, I go to the emergency room. That way they give me a clue as to what needs to be done. So, what is your thought on that? On those who will say, about those who will say, "Well, I don't have insurance, I don't have this." What is your advice to them?
In America, yeah, I mean the children in school. If you have school age children, they usually you can fill up a form so they can get tested. They have doctors that come to the school. They have dentists that come to the school, and that's all free of charge. And they also have like low income insurance to what you can get, and the low income insurance will pay for your preventative care, like your preventative care wellness visit. They pay for that, and any kind of and blood work and all those different things and all. And a lot of things where they have you can go to the health department in your city. There's many places where you have health
Mhm.
departments where you have doctors and other people working there too, where they can give you care at a lower rate. And most of the times, especially if you live in the bigger cities too, they have health clinics, places you may have to wait a little longer than,
Mhm.
as opposed to going to your primary care, like a private physician, private doctor, and all that too. But those places exist, and you can call the welfare office. They have resources there where they can tell you, okay, these are the places that you can go. Your children, they have the guidance counselor. Most of the social workers,
Mhm.
especially the social workers, they have the information, all this stuff. So we work closely with our social workers and everybody else too, so they know how to get all those things that where the providers, we go to them and they tell us, okay, I have this patient, he doesn't have that much money, or
Yeah.
they don't have this. Can you find resources that they can find a way to go get help because they need to go get the check that they need? Because a
Yeah.
lot of places, even mammogram is really expensive too, but they have a
Mhm.
lot of agencies, a lot of different people that have funding that you can do that. Planned Parenthood, some
Yeah.
places they have the free mammogram there too, and also GYN services at Planned Parenthood. So I know people say there are other things there. I'm not talking about that. I'm not getting into the politics, but it
Yeah.
does provide a lot of free services that
Correct.
otherwise people would not get, and then they end up having cancer or things like that. So it's very important that you can do that. So many different agencies, and you can also go to the hospital at where you are and then say, I don't have this, but the social workers there, can you please give me resources as well? So it's out there. You just need to ask the right people and all that.
Yeah. And just to close up for those of you that don't know, Abby have been there for me for a long time because I remember there's a picture I remember. I think that was back in 2016 or 17 when you took my blood pressure. I still
Yeah.
got a
Oh,
photo.
yeah.
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 In
Yeah.
fact, I would try now that we're on the platform. I would try to look for that photo and post it and actually let folks know. But she has been very, very engaging with us and other communities around her, especially during like the July 26th. I will always come with her stethoscope and like, oh, let's do that. And I became very interested and like, let me see my blood pressure and stuff like that. So, Abby, again, I would like to say a big thank you in the Liberian way. Thank you for what you do, and may God continue to strengthen you and give you more time to educate us out here. And whatever we do, at the end of the day, we want to stay healthy and be healthy to give us the opportunity to keep talking more because our health is like the fuel in the car.
Like
If
as
we
well.
don't have, yeah, if we don't have proper health, that car is not going to move anywhere. It's going to stay there, and everything going to deteriorate. So I would like to say thank you, and again, the next time I think we need to come to talk about the prostate because that
Yeah.
one got a lot of fun in it too. I tell you that one right now.
Oh, okay, sure, sure. Sure, I would love to do
Yeah,
that.
that
And
one
I
got a lot of fun in it too.
trust me, I've had bill patients where it's like, okay, you want me to, and they're like, where are you putting your finger? I'm like,
Yeah. Because, and just to just give them a snapshot, and I went and told one of my brother, I said, oh my man, I did my thing. He said, oh my man, so you let the women in? I said, my man, what you mean women?
yeah. So it's like, what are you doing? How long?
Yeah.
Trust me, it's not even going to be that long. It's not going to be that long. It's not like the thing we have to go
Exactly.
be
So
different. So yeah,
the
so
next
like,
time we meet, that would be something that I would like for us to talk about too. And then if the time permits you again, we'll talk about the cholesterol as well. Because everything my doctor has done for me, I kind of like going through the list of things, Abby, and I think sharing some of the important information on your platform will really be a service from me. Because oftentimes Liberian will ask, what have you done for the country? It don't have to be money that you give, but information is knowledge and it is power. So I just want to say, as time go by, we'll have the kind of opportunity. And every January is my well visit. So maybe by that time we should be able to find another time on your calendar to come back here again, Abby. So thank you so much.
yes, and then also for those of you who have to do your preventative testing and all, just find a time in a year where you say, okay, I'll do it around my birthday, I'll do it
Yeah,
around this time. So you get all your testing, get everything done and all that around that time, and get everything done. That's what I do. I usually do my stuff around my birthday or closer to my birthday.
yeah.
I do my mammogram and then I go shopping, and that's it.
Exactly.
So that's how
Exactly.
I reward myself. I do my mammogram and I go shopping and
Yeah,
go from there. So it's important that you guys do that. So, but let me finish up here. Excuse me. So, to conclude, for those of you who are joining late, you can go back and watch the beginning of the show. We talked about the statistics, we talk about the signs and symptoms. And remember, now don't be scared if you get all those symptoms that I put there. It could just be you have hemorrhoids,
yeah,
or a little growth in there where they might give you some medication to help it out and all. but it doesn't mean that, oh my God, I got cancer. But at least if you get, they can catch it earlier, and
Yeah.
then that way you can get it done and get it over with. Okay. Because I always talk about life and livelihood. You can
Yeah.
have life, but if the life is not healthy living, then,
Yeah.
and you're just sitting there and just like basically just surviving. And we don't
Right.
want that. We want you to live and we want you to thrive as much as possible. Okay.
There you
Just
go.
more
Yeah.
stuff here. Okay. Thank you for the show. Thank you. Thank you for watching.
Yeah.
So for those of you who are watching now who are friends of Randy, and I know there's like thousands of you out there because he's the political person, please look where it says Abby Tyler's Healthy Living page. It should have this on there. It should say page, all right? So please like and follow because I do a show every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So whatever time it is in New York at 7 o'clock. And then I do Abby's daily dose during the week. So like shorter videos, like 60 seconds to 90 seconds videos and all that, two little health tidbits here and there.
Yeah.
I bring important shows, and I've done so many shows. I've been doing this now for a long time, so you can go back and watch. And if you guys out there have any kind of testimonial and you feel comfortable, you want to come on to talk about it, so you can teach other people. Because I can say all I can say,
Yeah.
but people will listen more if somebody come and say, I had this and all, and I'm changing my accent. They will say, "Hey, my people, I had that thing that I went, I got tested.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can thank God. Oh, I can
Yeah.
thank God because you see me so."
Yeah.
You get God
All
and
right.
God and all the people who are working with you. So go ahead, for post and I want to witchcraft, all the different things that I know this witchcraft, I don't know. But anyways, but most of these things are not witchcraft.
Yeah.
Right? So it's important. And I know Randy's my brother. I know his whole family.
Yeah.
And we had
Yeah.
to be with each other forever. That's why when
Yeah.
he go at me with political stuff, I'd be like, I'm not going at it on Facebook because he's my brother. I know
Yeah.
his whole family. He knows my whole family. So
We know what's going wrong.
we're not gonna do it Facebook. I will see him in public. I will see him.
And she always wins. She like Randy that big when you come out.
I know. So we'll color speech and everything, but at the end
Yeah.
of the day, he's still my brother. I love him. I love his life.
Happy America too.
So it's like but we're both here. He does his thing, I do my thing, and we're
Yeah.
all here to help serve our community and
Yeah.
community at large because I serve the whole wider community as a provider too. So
Yeah.
okay, so
Happy, like the page, follow the page, and happy.
like and follow, invite it. Please share the show. Please share the show.
Yeah,
Okay.
share
And
the
send me
show.
stars, but if you can send the stars, at least share it so other people can see it because this is really valuable information. Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you all for watching. We'll say thank you again to Mr. DARPOH. And hopefully we'll be back together again to bring more shows. And again, out there, if you guys want to come on, let me know and I'll bring people on. Thank you all for the comments. And I'll be reading that. Any more questions, you guys can leave it there and I can go back and answer that later on. Okay. So thank you all for watching. I thank you all for your love and support. Stay tuned during the week for Abby's Daily Dose and then Tuesday at 7 p.m. for our weekly show. Okay. Thank you all again. And good night
Thank
out
you. All right. Bye, Abby. Bye, everyone.
there, Randy.